Okay, so where were we? Get a revision first. So yep. So we literally would have stopped just after GST. So we're up to this bit here, straight line depreciation. Straight line and is there declining? Oh, that's probably the next page or next chapter. All right, let's do this. Straight line depreciation. Where's my little text? I haven't plugged this in. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. So straight line depreciation. You'll be given this formula. This just means the salvage value. Salvage value meaning the price you can sell it today. V0 is the original value. D is your depreciation rate or amount, so how much it's depreciated by, like in this case it's saying 1200 each year. N is obviously number of years. Number of years or number of periods, in case it's not years. Okay, any questions about this? It's a pretty, I guess, logical formula. So if I told you I bought a car today and it was 30,000 and it depreciates by $2,000 each year, and it's now taken 5 years, I mean, you can obviously work out its salvage value by just saying, well, you've lost $10,000, so 2,000 times 5, you've lost 10K, you bought the car for 30K, it's obviously worth today 20K. And that's exactly what this formula is. Original, which is 30,000, minus D, 2,000 times N, 5. So 30,000, take away 10K, yeah, 30,000 take away 10,000 equals $20,000. And that would be your salvage value. And same as what we've been doing previously, if you need to go back and do it, if you need to find D, that's when equations and algebra kicks in and you'll just have to do things in reverse. So let's have a look at this question. Lisa pays $23,500 for a new car. It depreciates at $1,200 each year. How much will it be worth after 4 years? Well, it's easy. S equals $23,500 minus $1,200 each year times 4. After 10 years, S will equal $23,500 minus $1,200 times 10 years. And you just plug it all into your calculator. Straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Again, as always, just let me know if I'm going too fast. William purchased a second-hand car for $12,800. So purchased, that becomes V0. After 4 years, its salvage value was half of what he paid for it. Well, you already now know what S is. S is going to be 6,400, half of what it is. So therefore, you're not going to be finding S. You already know that straight away. Yeah. You know that V0 is equal to 12,800. It says calculate the annual depreciation amount. So you know now you don't have D, you have N, which equals to 4, and plug it all into this formula and solve for D. Now, I'll know if you can solve for D if you're able to solve for D without me plugging in any numbers. So if I give you this, are you able to make D the subject? Who wants to try it? Trying to make D the subject.
Will you move B over first, so minus the V?
Beautiful. So I'm going to write it like this, and then you just got to divide by
Negative N.
Done. So D equals S take away V divided by negative N. And that's technically, I mean, you can just plug everything in and you'll get your answer. Obviously, if you guys didn't want to do it like this, you could have just put your numbers in first and then just solve for D, which would have probably been easier. But I think if you can do this algebraically, then that means pretty much you're pro at all your equation skills. If you can do it algebraically without numbers, you're pretty much prior all these questions, so it's good. This works exactly the same way. It just says for how many years. So this time you're going to find n. You'll have the same problem. You're going to divide by negative d. Am I going too fast?
No.
No. Truck is purchased for 125 after January. Yep, that's easy. All right, here's a good one because it says a percentage. So remember, so the idea with straight line is it's the same amount every year. So straight line is the same amount, but D was not a rate. It was the actual depreciated amount. So it lost like $2,000 or something like that. This one here says Phil buys a new motor vehicle or motorbike, sorry, for $18,000. Each year it depreciates at 12% of its purchase price. So what does D equal to? D is not 12%, it's 12% of 18,000. And then you will just plug that in. It should be 2160. So it depreciates by $2,160 every year for 7 years. Therefore, your salvage value, very easy. There it is, minus 2160 times 7. And that would give you your amount that it's worth today, which is 2880. Cool. These ones here, usually in tests. So we'll do it together because they do like to ask the graphical versions. And you can obviously see it's a straight line. And again, you can probably see it's decreasing. So it's going down, and that's why it's a, I guess you're depreciating, vehicles or assets in general. You're losing money as the years go on. All right, so let's see how we can read this. Let's first learn how to read it. It says written down replacement cost times 1,000. So that means, after 0 years, it's 30,000. After 2 years, it's 26, 20, maybe half of 30 and 24, 27,000. That's an annoying number. 27,000 and so on. Like after 4 years, it's worth 24K, and it's just going down. Yeah. All right. What was the initial cost of the vehicle? Obviously, initially it cost 30K, 30,000. What is meant by residual value? Where does it say residual? What is meant by residual value? Residual usually means initial, like V0. What does it mean salvage value? Give me a second. Let's have a look at that. Residual value. Value. The future value of a good in terms of a car is sold at this price for $20,000 today. So what its price is today? Yeah. So residual value is the initial value. What the price is worth today. So that would still be 30K. Or what is meant by residual value? Sorry. Today's value, right? Today's value. In other words, that could also mean salvage value, because if it's gone past the 0th year, so if you're in your 2nd year or your 4th year or your 6th year, you won't look at it as today's value, but you look at it at the 6th mark value, which would be the salvage value. By how much does the car depreciate each year? How much does it depreciate each year? Well, that's a tricky one that would have got a lot of people.
Well, on the graph, it's going by 2 years.
Yeah, but you know how tempting it is to write 3,000, yeah? Everybody, you probably would have if I didn't emphasize it and stuff like that. You got to be careful. Like that says 30,000. Yeah. This becomes 27,000. You got to remember this is going up by 2 years. So this is wrong. It's 1.5K each year.
Yeah.
And so on. Is this a constant amount?
Yes.
It has to be because it's a straight line. What is the value of the car after 4 years? Well, that's pretty easy stuff. 9 years. Walter is hoping to sell the vehicle when it reaches 3/4 of the initial cost price. All right, what's 3/4 of 30? So 3/4 of 30 would give you 22.5. So 3/4 of 30 equals 22.5. After how many years will he sell the vehicle? Well, 22. So, well, what's right here? What's halfway between 18 and 24? 21. And then one higher than that would give me 22.5. So 21 was 6 years. 21 was 6 years. 24,
Yeah.
21 equals 6 years. 24 equals 4 years. And of course, 22.5 equals 5 years. So right here.
Mhm.
Do that. All right. Dalia, Kara, all good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
All right. Nice. Compound interest as repeated applications of simple interest. Okay. Let's look at this. Later used the table to calculate the value of an investment. She deposited $5,000 into an account for 5 years, earning simple interest of 4% per annum. At the end of each year, the interest earned added to her existing principal. Yep, that kind of makes sense. So let's see how this is playing out. So after 1 year, she initially put in 5,000. So imagine it was January. She put in 5,000. At the end of that year, so assume like December 31st, she earned 4% interest rate. So if you do 4% of 5K, you'll get $200. Therefore, the amount she'll have in December is 5,200. Now, January in the second year, she'll start off with an amount of 5,200 times it by 4% gives you this much. Then altogether she would have 5,408. So this times this equals this, plus them together becomes this. This comes here. So December of 31st, think of it like that, becomes January the 1st of the next year. 5,408, that's what you start with, times by 4%, you'll get your answer for A. 216.32, and then add it on top together, and you'll get 5,624.33. That goes here, and I think you guys get the idea. With this, I'll just finish off the answer for B. 5849.29, and then there it is. Anyways, that was a bit annoying doing it. I should have just copied that answer, but I will. All right, blah, 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 we just did all that. Okay. And I mean, this will be the same. Just tell me if you want me to go through it. But look, there's your principal. There's an annual interest rate. There's your monthly interest rate, which would just be this answer divided by 12. Because if it's annual, monthly, you just divide it by 12. I'm guessing at each month the interest was added. Yep. So what would have happened is they would have worked out the month, like you wouldn't have done, yeah, these are in months. So you would have done this amount times by this amount. These amounts are irrelevant. It's just there to show you that they had to divide it by 12 to get you this. So if you do 2,500 times 0.4%, 0.4% gives you $10, added on top 25.10. Goes here, times it by this percent, becomes $10.04, added on top, and so on and so on. Okay. I think that's okay. Let me have a look at one question from here, if I see anything that I like. Yeah, I think question 6 I like. That was pretty straightforward. maybe question 10. 6, 10, 12, 13. Okay, let's do them. That one. That one. That one. And 6. Okay. The GST is presently set at 10% in Australia. Find the new price of a phone that had pre-GST price of $860. Do we remember what we do? Times it by. You gotta add GST of 10%. What do you do? Times it by 110%. Remember, GST is an increase, so you're going to start with 100 and then multiply by, add 10% to 100 becomes 110%, and that should give you a new amount, which is, and the formula we're trying to use is old times percent equals new. What is the amount of GST in the price of a jet ski? Priced at 8470. So a lot of people think, oh, you can just divide it by 10% because you want to find the old price, but it doesn't work like that. You have to remember your old price would have multiplied by 110% to give you this new price. So if you want to work out what your old price is first, you got to divide it by 110%. That's the right way to do it. That gives you 7700, which means.
So that was the old price.
Yeah, GST would be 8470, take away 7700. The GST amount is $770.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's try. We'll have a read at number 10. If I feel like you guys can do it, I'll give you a chance to try it. Yeah. Try number 10. I won't say much. Just have a read and see what you understand from it, and then we'll go through it. Okay, let's do it. Does anyone actually have an answer for A?
I'm almost done.
Okay, then I'll just wait a little bit.
So, I basically just did 1,760 times 0.6, and I got 756.
Yep.
Is that right?
It's a 60% loss. So what price does she sell the washing machine?
Oh, I was supposed to do 1260 times 0.4.
Yes, technically. Or if you had done 60%, you could have just subtracted it by now. But the way I was showing it to you last time was just to do this. It's just a bit faster.
Yeah.
Because you're already doing 100%. take away 60%. Whereas in your case, when you multiply by 60%, you worked out the loss, then you would have subtracted by 1260. And then you should have still got the same answer that we're about to get right now.
So it should be 504 then? I think.
Yeah, correct. At what price does she want to sell the machine? 504. What loss did she have would be the answer that you would have had before, which is what? Loss equals 756.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, she does not sell the washing machine, but a week later it is sold when she reduces its price by another 20%. What is her overall loss in the 5 years? That's okay. So she reduces it by another 20%. That means her old price is now 504 times. What am I going to times by if you're going to reduce by 20%?
0.8.
0.8, and that gives you your new price now after a discount of 20%, which is, yep. And then what's your overall loss? You just got to watch out for things like that, like these one extra step questions. So overall loss equals 756. Oh well, just the overall loss as 1260 take away 403. It's just easier. 1260. Yeah.
856.8.
Done.
Yeah.
Easy. Too much. All right, let's do another one. Oliver bought a wheelbarrow. Yep, I feel like you guys can do this one. Just be careful with it, and I'll give you a few minutes to try that out now.
Hey Sam,
Yes.
with working out A with the percentages,
Yep.
so with the 10% from the family discount, is that
Yes.
applied to the already discounted price or on top of the 15% to the full price?
So usually the way these discounts work is what? What do you think? You got to take a guess.
Is it to the discounted price?
Yeah, correct. Because it's cheaper, right? I mean, it's not cheaper. It's better for the business, I guess.
Yeah, it takes less.
Do it like, yeah, that's it. Takes less. Correct. Okay, so what do we have? We should have originally priced 110. The store had, so this is my math. Might have done a little bit slower, but it's the same thing. The store had a discount of 15%, which means the original price would have been that, or the new price would be whatever that amount is. And then if you're trying to get 10% off that amount, you would also times that by this. That's how my math works. Let's see if we all got the same answer. Are we doing it differently or same? We'll find out. So you pay 84.15, which means saved equals. Did we get $25.85?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then what was the total percentage discount that Oliver received? Well, we know the discount. Look, percentage is very easy. Don't stress about it. Percentage is just a hidden fraction, right? So you just need a numerator, you need a denominator, and then you times it by 100, you got a percentage. So discount, well, you got $25.85, there's your numerator, over the total, which would be 110, and then you just times it by 100. It's really simple stuff. Don't let these little ones confuse you. Oh, percentage, I don't get it. It's just a fraction. Times 100, I think it's looking like 23.5% discount, which makes more sense than 25% discount. So it's not 25, which I know we understand. Any questions?
No.
If you do want to see something cool, I'm pretty sure if I do that times that, it gives me, yeah, so I should be right. Maybe, we'll find out. If you want to work out how to work this out in a different way and how all the math works together, you're probably not so interested, but I'll just show you how this all is linked. If I did 0.85 times 0.9, so 0.85 times 0.9, that gets me 0.765. That's 0.765 of the original, right? So if I want to know what discount I actually got, I'll just take away like 100% or 1 from that. And I think you guys can probably see, yeah, you get 0.235, which is 23.5%. Same as that. Pretty much what you're doing. Cool. Try 13. You got an answer? Remember, this is including already, and this is the new price. So you've got to first work out what the old price was, and then raise it by 15%. Do we know how to find old? No? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or what about you?
Yeah, makes sense.
You didn't think of doing that first? Like trying to divide here? So is going backwards, like same for you, Bianca, is going backwards a bit harder? Is that what you're realizing? You're not realizing when to see it, or what bit is confusing? Is it the math? Is it the words?
Yeah, just not remembering where to like see it and like how to.
Like see to see that this was a division question compared to let's say the next bit of it where I had to now go and multiply. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Are you missing? Yeah. I thought so. Yeah, I guess, look, I don't know. Yeah, the price of a camera, including temp, as soon as I see including, and which is this, I think about, well, if it's already including, then that must be my new price. And the formula I always just use is, yeah, that old times percent equals new. And if I've already been given my new price, then I know I have to find my old price, which means I've got to divide. Whereas if it was a question like this one, it says Oliver bought a wheelbarrow originally priced at 110. I mean, straight away, you know that is the old price, and you're going to find the new price. Yeah. So you get used to the words, but I mean, that was the trick there. Once you know that that is the old price, you're like, all right, well, to find my new price now for it being 15% GST, well, I'm just going to multiply it by 115%.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Let me just see if I can find one more. There. No. Oh well. I have sent this booklet to you guys, right? So you can go back and do it. Have you guys got access to this booklet on Skype?
I'm not sure. Is it in the chat, maybe?
Yeah, it's right there under your learning standard.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, this is on. Cool. All right. All right. Next chapter, chapter 3. Last bit of financial math. So let's see how we go with this one. Financial maths, budgeting and household expenses. So a little bit of a bit more bills. I think we looked at a few energy bills and stuff like that last term. This is like council rates, insurance, car insurance. So a bit more personal like this. The assignment they usually give you for this is just, you know, to go and find the car, work out how much it costs, and then how you're going to finance it. You got to borrow money, and the insurance costs, and blah blah blah. And they'll make you do a nice big assignment and all this. But let's do this. It's not that difficult. A lot of reading. There are some. I think it's more the terminology that you got to get used to. And the advice I gave you with your energy bills is the same advice I'll give you here. Just ask your parents, can I have a council rates bill, please? And just literally go through and read it. Yeah, it's obviously important for your math right now, but it'll also be very important once you actually have your own place and your own house or your own car. You're going to be able to understand every little bit that you're getting charged on, and if they've overcharged or whatever the situation is. So council rates and home insurance. Obviously, council rates is a rate that you've got to pay to the council for providing, let's say, like waste services. So they pick up your recycling, garbage, and whatnot. Stormwater services. So there it is. We can probably see that. And then just for the fact that you have land, you get charged for that because technically, even though you own the land, it's at the end of the day, because of the government we're in, the land is owned by the government, so it's technically never just yours or always just yours. So it can be bought by the government at their discretion at any time if they require your land. So technically you're paying a little fee for that, for them to maintain it and blah blah blah. But anyways, all right, let's look at it. So the description of and situation of land rated, DP and lot number. That's usually there's numbers there that say what district you're in and what lot number your particular property is on. So these can just be numbers, but they don't really mean much to you right now. Lot 2196. That just means your house address. Before it wasn't an actual address, it was just called the lot number 2196. Rating, these are the way they categorize and you get charged. Land value, this is like just saying if you're a resident, it's not a commercial business, if it's a resident, the base amount that everyone has to pay is 1 times 621.84 cents in the dollar. So 621.84 cents in the dollar. So for $1, you're going to get charged $621.84. Residential rate, if your land's bigger, you get charged more because the idea is it's valued more. If your land is smaller, the value would be smaller, so therefore this amount would be smaller. This particular land is worth $227,000. Times it by 0.208437. That's the amount that you get charged because of your particular land. So this is everyone gets charged minimum 621. You get charged this much because your land's value is this. I'm just working out the number for you guys. What happened here? Why is this 0.28 cents in the dollar? So sorry, times $473.15. So don't forget, this is just 1 times this. These amounts are divided by 100. These two. Because these are actual dollar amounts. These are unit amounts. So everybody gets charged. This is not per dollar. This is per dollars. Right? Does that make sense, girls?
Yeah.
So this is dollar amount. These are just unit amounts. Like everybody gets 1 times $25, 1 times $340. Whereas these ones are in cents. That's why it says cents in dollars. You be careful with that. $473, and then hunter catchment contribution. You got to get charged for a little bit of that. $26. Stormwater residential, everybody gets charged $25 for, for maintaining the stormwater, making sure everything flows it through properly. And domestic waste management, you get charged $340. That's irrespective of how big or how small your house is. It's just if you want them to collect your waste every year, they're going to charge you $340.09. And then usually they allow you to break it up into 4 installments, so that it's a bit cheaper. Not cheaper. It's a bit easier to pay in 4 installments. But all of these 4 installments will just add up to the same as your annual amount. How do we work out the annual amount? Just going to add up all these numbers. So 621.184 plus 473.5 plus 26.79 plus 25 plus 340 becomes 1486.87, and then obviously you're going to just take away these 3 amounts to work out what Z is. Take away 371, take away 371, take away 373.87. Nice, becomes $371 there as well. And it just says daily interest will accrue on overdue rates and charges at 8% per annum. So if you're not able to pay, you get charged 8% per annum daily. So you get charged every single day that you're overdue. Any questions about that so far?
No.
I think we've answered most of this. How much will you pay? Yeah, well, I think we answered all of it. Now, there's also this fire service levy. It's just so that in the event that you need to pay for damage done by fire or anything like that, and you need the fire brigade, that there's a levy there that you get charged everybody gets charged. So if there is a situation when your house has been burnt down, they can use that amount to actually pay you your insurance amount. So it's like a, how can I say, a pool where they've created, because they started losing a lot of money from all these fires, let's say house fires, and then insurance companies had to pay a lot of money out. So they created this fire service levy. They created this pool of funds, of money, pool of funds. Let's say each amount is 250 times by millions and millions of houses. Each year they would have at least 250 million, and then in the event where there are few houses each year, I wouldn't know how many. Let's say if there's 500 houses a year, they catch on fire, and each house is worth on average, I don't know, let's say 1 million. Oh, let's say half a million. Well, then that would cost $250 million, and that pretty much balances out everything. I mean, obviously, naturally, there will be times this will be a lot higher. It could be 1,500, and they lose money, and then therefore the next year they just take the levy up higher, and that's roughly what a fire service levy is, and that's the mechanisms behind it. Usually building and contents. You've got a base premium, so you would usually have to pay this much regardless, so $1,210.34, regardless of, regardless of the fire service levy or stamp duty and stuff. But again, it depends on how much you want to actually insure. So if you were insuring a $300,000 house, your premiums would be less than insuring a $1.3 million house. And same thing with contents. If your contents were only worth $50,000, that would be different to. They'll have a different premium to if your contents were worth $300,000. Stamp duty is just a tax. GST is another tax, and then you got a total amount payable. You pay this much. Any questions about what these mean? Okay. What was the total cost?
No.
Yeah, go ahead. No? Okay. What was the total cost of the two policies? Well, that's very easy. So if you want to take out both building and contents, you're just going to add these two together, right?
Yeah.
Jessamine? How do we say that one? How do we say that name? Jessamine? Jessamine? I don't know. We'll make it Jasmine. It's just a bit easier. Jasmine had already received a 15% discount on the cost of her policies because she had her car insurance with the same company. What would have been the original cost of her building insurance policy? So this actually is already a 15% discount, right? And the only reason why she got the 15% discount is because she's also got car insurance. So they gave her a nice little deal to keep her with her home insurance. So the amount that she paid is 2514.69, which is 15% off already. How do I work out the original? Bianca, what do you think? What am I going to write? What formula are you thinking of?
The old,
Old,
that's the one
beautiful.
I said before, yeah.
Times, what would the percentage be?
85
Equals.
equals 2,514.69,
And then?
and then
When you know it, don't overthink it. Old. You're going to divide it.
okay, yeah.
And then you're done. 2958.46. That was the original amount, and then she received a 15% discount, which became 2514.69.
Okay.
She decides to pay the cost of the insurance in fortnightly installments. What amount will she pay each fortnight? Ah. Seriously, that's a question. So just so you know, if you guys couldn't do this, I'll just show you something that's really important for you to learn in terms of HSC strategies. If you couldn't do A and B, but you understood how to do C, which was this number divided by 26, if you just made up a number here, so if you were, I don't know, 3,000, and then you came up here and you actually used 3,000, oh, sorry, if you didn't even know how to do this one, firstly, let's get back to you. If you didn't know how to do this, if you did, and you just made up a number, which we're going to put 3,000, but you knew how to do B, so you somehow knew how to do this one, which is a bit harder, and this is 3,000, and you divide it accordingly, and you got your answer here. You would get full marks for this, and then if you came here and you decided to do 3,000 divided by 26, you'll also get full marks for this. That's the way the HSC works. You'll lose 1 mark here because you just made up an answer, but at least you can get full marks for the rest of the questions. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's how my exams work as well. Like it's correct from previous error or something.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, but the problem with that sometimes when you guys are just told that, you feel like you have to actually have this one, like you had to give this one a good shot. You don't have to. If you actually don't know what you're doing, you can just make up something and just continue. At least you get the rest right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Cool. So that is something you got to keep in mind. All right, very good. Water and electricity. Let's read this. Well, at first I might make you girls just have a quick read of everything, and maybe you might see something that you don't understand. I think it's probably better for you to tell me, Sam, I didn't get what this means, rather than me explaining it all. Just have a read of everything, start from the top, and then tell me what bit you're like, but I don't get what this means.
Is this all on a bill, like these sections, or is it on like another paper?
Say that again.
All this information that's on one bill.
Yep. That's correct. Any questions? We understood everything then? We're still reading.
I get it, yeah.
Other girls all right as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How much does Belinda pay for each kiloliter of water her family uses? Well, usage charges. She gets charged $2.25 per kiloliter. What is the value of P? Well, it tells you this at this. So it's got to go 78. By what percentage has Belinda's household reduced their daily water usage since the same time last year? By what percentage? Okay, well, a daily water usage here, this bill was 0.67. What was the same time last year? not 0.68, it would be 0.77, right?
Yeah.
And then if we're trying to work out, okay, how much have they reduced it? Well, they've reduced it by 0.1
Mm-hmm.
over 0.77. Same time last year. So you're going to divide it by last year. That's your numerator. That would be your denominator. And then this would give you your percentage. If you're ever wondering how I knew to do that, 12 point, I think if you round it up, it's about 13%. If you're wondering how I knew to do 0.77 instead of 0.67, you can follow this rule. Mu minus old over old. So it's always going to be divided by old, which would be 0.77.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that, and you just answered that.
Yeah, nice. So you could just do it that way. If you get a negative number, like you would if you actually used it for this one, 0.67 take away 0.77 over 0.77, you'll get a negative, and a negative just means you've reduced it or you've decreased. If you get a positive, it means you've increased it. Okay, question 2, same thing. Have a read, and then if you don't even want to read it, maybe start answering the questions and see if you're comfortable with it. But I would first try to get used to understanding where everything is, how it works.
I think questions A and B are pretty simple.
Yep.
A is just 93, and then
93.
how many days. And then
How many
is
days?
it is percent?
Say that again.
Is B 12%, or is that for something
Yep.
else?
How much GST? How much GST was charged? When it says how much, it doesn't usually mean 12 like percentage. It's actually like what
Is it
was the
dollars or
amount?
something?
And what was the
Okay.
actual amount? So the current charges was this much, excluding GST, including
Yeah.
this much. How much was the actual GST that was charged?
So just the difference
Yeah,
from the numbers? Okay.
yeah. Which would be $45.78. And usually, just so you know, the assumption would be 10%. So usually 10% of GST for GST. Which is 10% of this. If you did 10% of that amount, you'll get 45.78.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, what is the cost of off-peak electricity per kilowatt? Cost of off-peak. Charged by the company. Give your answer to the nearest cent. All right. What's the answer?
Well, it says it there, so it's 2.33. Yeah, that one there. So that's the
Yep.
off-peak.
Kilowatt
Then it's to
hour
hours.
per day. So what is the cost of off-peak electricity per kilowatt hour? Per kilowatt hour is just charged by, I'm going to give you an answer nearest cent. So 2.3381 kilowatts. Sorry, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, per kilowatt hour, so 0.1076. So the nearest cent would be 11 cents,
Yeah.
right? Because it's 10.76 cents. Nearest cent would be 11 cents. If there had been no home discount for Chloe, no home discount, what would be the whole electricity price? Okay, well, she got a discount of $51.12.
Mhm.
And then the amount became this. If she didn't receive a discount, you've got to add it on top, right?
Yeah.
So those would be 457.76. Add on top $51.12. That gets you 508.88, but it says including GST, so you times it by 110% or 1.1, and the answer becomes $559.77. Okay. Let's go and move on to another one. Buying a car. Again, I believe you guys will be able to do this, but I'll do the first one, and I can see question 2 is the same. So I'll leave question 2 for you guys. Let's try this one. A car is on sale, sorry, from a dealership for $42,000. Finance is available with a deposit of 10%, and then monthly repayments of $760 over 5 years. So find the deposit. That means you have to put, obviously, $4,200 in. Your balance owing after the deposit, well, that will just be 4,200. Sorry, 42,000 minus 4,200 minus 4,200 becomes 37,800. What's your total repayments? Your total repayments are $760 for every month for 5 years. That becomes 45,600. Naturally, that should be higher than this because you're on finance, so you've got to pay back some interest. What's your total interest that you've paid? 4560 minus the amount that you borrowed. You didn't borrow 42,000, right? Because you put a deposit of 4,200. So you only borrowed 37,000. So you paid interest of 7,800 for 5 years, which isn't too bad to be able to get a car today for $42,000. I only had to put a deposit of 4,000. Okay. If you don't have any questions, just try question 2 for me.
I'm a bit stuck on how to do C. I've already done A and B.
How to find the interest? How do I find interest if it's an interest rate like this? What's the formula?
I don't remember.
Can someone help us out? This word right here. Anyone? give you a clue. I equals.
Yeah, N, isn't it?
There it is.
Yeah.
What's your answer for A?
6,340.
6340. Balance owing.
And then I just did 63,400
6340.
minus.
Doesn't it say deposit of 15%?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's not right. You did 10%. And then balance owing. You're up to this stage. P is 53. What'd you get for C?
Is R's the percentage, yeah? And then
Yeah.
N is
2.5%.
4 years.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think it's right. It doesn't look right. I got 951.
You did this amount as your P. Your P should have been this amount. So it's 53,000. That's your principal rate, 2.5%.
So then it's 538.9.
Now you're doing something wrong. 53890 times 2.5% times 4. You must have missed a zero or something.
Oh, yeah, I did. So 5,380.
Yeah. And then monthly installments. Well, your monthly installments must be the balance you're owing plus the interest you're owing which is 59,279. That's how much you got to pay back altogether. So
Yeah.
monthly, you got to pay back, divide by 48 because it's for 4 years. So every month, you would have to pay back 1234. 0.98. Make sense?
Yeah.
Kara, you're all good with that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Dahlia, how you find this? I know you said financial maths is not your best topic.
Yeah, not too bad.
All right. Assumption of taking out a 5-year purchase, calculate monthly. All right, try question 3.
Elizabeth said
Yeah.
he's trying to rejoin. She disconnected. Her internet keeps cutting out.
Fair enough. Thank you for letting me know. 3. There's a few steps you've got to do before you can get to this step, yeah? Pretty much you've got to do all of this. There is no deposit. So it's just you're working out what the monthly payments are. Anybody not know what they're doing, so I can start off? Anyone have an answer? Let's see. We'll do the first one. Anyone able to get the $930 out? No? Cara, let's do this one together then. You ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. 36,000. So you've got two options. You've got a 4-year option and a 5-year option. Both options are at 6% per annum. So the first thing I've got to work out my repayments, I've got to work out my total amount I would have to repay back. So I'll need to find my interest. 36,000, 4 years, 6%. That gives me my interest. The total I've got to pay back is 88,600 plus 36,000. There it is. Divided by 48 months in 4 years. I worked out that to become $930. Makes sense? That everything I've just done there. Are you able to do that now for a 5-year loan?
Yeah, I'll do it now.
All right, done. Try see if you can get it for a 5-year loan.
I got 780.
Look.
36,000. Sorry.
That's 36,000 divided by 60, 780 per month. You're right. And then obviously calculate the total repayments. We've already done that. So you would have already done that in 44,000, and then whatever the total repayment was here before you divided it by 60. Dahlia, Kara, all good with that as well?
Yep.
Okay. Question 5. Have a read. Again, I'll give you a few minutes. Talk to me. If you get stuck with a bit of it, just talk to me and I'll tell you if you're going in the right direction. I was doing it in the background as well. I've got the answers on the screen. Just let me know once you've completed it.
Yeah, I got the same one.
Perfect. Am I waiting on anyone? All right. Let's move on. Stamp duty. Let's see how much is left of this financial math. Registration, stamp duty, running, maintenance, budgeting. All right. Stamp duty, like I said before, it's a tax. It's a tax you got to pay depending on how much your car is valued. If your car is valued between 0 to 44,999, you pay $3 for every $100 or part of $100. So if it's $120, you still pay for the next $100. So you pay for $200, right? A part of 100 just means you got to round up to the next 100, which would mean 200 if it's 120. If your car costs more than $45,000, you automatically pay $1,350 plus $5 for every $100 or part of $100 over $45,000. So, how much stamp duty is paid? If it's a used car costing $16,540, well, you fall in this bracket right there. So you pay $3 for every $100. How many $100 are in here? The best way to do that is divide by 100. So you get 165.40. Right. But the 0.40 part of means you got to round it up to the next bit. So that means 166.
Yeah.
And times it by $3. I'll just pause there. Does everybody understand what I've just done there? So you don't round down, even though if it's 0.40,
Yeah.
you got to round up to the next bit. And then you get charged $498. Doesn't matter if it's a used car or a new car. It's a new car, 74,000. Well, you get charged $1,350 straight away, plus $5 for every $100 over 45,000. So first thing you got to work out is how much you're over.
Yeah, and
then tax was for every dollar. Don't forget, so don't confuse the two. Tax was for every dollar over, which was a little bit easy to work out because you didn't have to divide it by 100 and whatever. But too bad. Divide by 100. That gets me 292.6, which means the number I'm going to use is 293 times 5. Right. Every $100 times that by 5. So plus 293 times 5. $2,850.
yeah, I got that.
Any questions?
No.
Yeah. Let's do question 3. Again, I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer this. It's not too tricky, I promise you. So just use them to do that. Are we done? Or still go on?
Just up to the last question.
Yes. I just like filling out the answers for them. The average stamp duty.
For being rounded, I got $2,007.
2007.
Yeah.
Six.
Yep.
What is the percentage rate of stamp duty used in Western Australia? Western Australia. Okay. How did you do this one?
So Western Australia is 3,250 over 50,000
Nice.
times 100.
Yeah, you all got that right. And Victoria, same thing.
Yeah.
Which state charges stamp duty of $4 in every $100 of value of a car? So pretty much 4%. Which is 2,000, so that is this guy's. That's all I did. I know that 4 of 100 is just 4%. It's the fancy way of saying. So I just quickly went and did 50,000 times 4%, and they gave me $2,000, which means it's Tasmania. Okay, let's move on to rego and insurance. Registration, something you must pay to use your car. Insurance, there's two different types. There's compulsory insurance, so there's green slip, or in other words called compulsory insurance. Compulsory insurance, which would be like you cannot drive your car without this particular type of insurance. Then there's third-party insurance and comprehensive insurance. And then of course there's all the extras if you want it, like insuring your windows or whatever. This one here is compulsory because this one here is not insuring your car, it's insuring people, it's insuring humans. So if you actually have an accident and you permanently disable someone or kill someone, whether they're in the house, they're in the car, in the house, on the streets, whatever the idea is, you are at least covered. If you weren't doing something illegal or on something illegal or whatever the idea would that be. So that's compulsory, that's covering people. These two insurances are covering the car. This one covers the other person's car, if you're at fault, other car. This one obviously covers your car and other person's car and property. Any questions about that?
No.
Green slip compulsory insurance, you must have. It's insuring the person. These two are insuring the cars. This third party means you're insuring if you're at fault and you hit someone else's car, at least their car gets fixed. Your car will not be fixed. If you've got comprehensive, then their car and your car will be fixed if you're at fault. If you're not at fault and you don't have third party, then it depends on the other person. If they've got third party, then they'll just fix your car, and if they've got comprehensive, they'll fix your car, and they can get their car fixed. Okay. The cost of registering a car in New South Wales is $65 excluding GST plus, again, another motor vehicle tax based on the car's weight measured in kilograms. So the heavier the car, the more you get charged in your rego. All of these prices are excluding GST. You got to keep that in mind. Depends if you're using your car for private use or for business use. Business use means like if you're using it for, taxi, Uber, I don't know, learning to drive, something like that. That's the type of business use. Private use is pretty much everything else. The table lists the tire weight of 3 vehicles. Speedy sedan it weighs 1,200, Cowboy 1,500, and Jumbo van weighs 1,700. Obviously, the heavier, like I said, the heavier they weigh, the more they will cost. Tom buys a Cowboy 4-wheel drive for his family. What is the cost of registering the vehicle, including GST? So it will cost him $1,514. So he is in here. It will cost him $448. Plus, he will have to automatically pay $65. Everyone misses that because they get so caught up with the table. You got to remember it's a table plus this amount. That's why I like to underline them and highlight them sometimes. Both of these amounts are not including GST. So I'm going to times it by the GST component, and that should get me the new price, which is $564.30. You're seeing we're doing pretty much the same math over and over again, just applied differently to different, cases. Home insurance, car insurance, home energy plans, and so on. So they're all the same kind of math. Try B now, just quickly. She purchased a Speedy sedan for her business. Speedy sedan, 1225 would be here, so 463 plus 65 times 1. All good with that?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Who wants to try this? Briefly describe the following: compulsory third party, comprehensive, third party property insurance. Kara, do you want to try to explain it for us? She's still there. Alyssa, do you want to try it?
So I just got back. Did Cara tell you my?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So-
So I'm trying to read like what you just wrote. I have no idea.
Fair enough. That's okay. All right, well, I'll walk you through this question too then now.
Okay.
Compulsory third-party insurance. It's insurance that covers people in case of accident, in case of like disability
hmm
or death. So if you ever hit someone or you hit a car and then they become really injured or whatever it is, at least it covers them personally.
Is this just for cars or like in general?
Correct. Well, no, this is so compulsory insurance, third-party insurance is for cars. CTP insurance is for cars. And then there's comprehensive insurance, which covers, the third party meaning the other person, covers the third party's car / property. So this one doesn't cover property, right? This is just people.
hmm
Covers the third party's car / property as well as yours. Whereas third-party property insurance only covers the third party. The third party's car / property. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I get that.
It's just a matter of memorizing the words, I guess. So third-party insurance or CTP insurance covers people in case you hit someone and then you kill them, or they become permanently disabled or something like that, or they're not able to walk. They're not able to walk. They're not able to ride, or they're not able to continue the exact same way they were before you had that accident.
hmm
That covers you in that event. Whereas and that's compulsory, so you can't drive a car without it. You can't even register your car without it. So everybody needs that. Then there's these two, which you can get away without having, but obviously you're running the risk of, if you ever do hit someone, you won't be covered by hitting their car or property, which means you would be personally liable. And then obviously comprehensive just means if you've got pretty much a new car, you would like to cover your car so that if you do have an accident, at least your car's still covered and they can fix your car as well as the other person's car. If you had an older car, you probably wouldn't want to get a car. It's going to cost you more when you probably don't want to get your car fixed. If it's only worth like $1,000 or $2,000. If it's worth $30,000, $40,000, you probably will do a comprehensive insurance. Okay. And then let's have a look at these questions now. What is the cost of comprehensive insurance for a premium of $11.40 with a 60% no claim bonus? That means, what is the cost of comprehensive insurance for a premium of $11.40? You can get 60% off, no claim bonus. So pretty much just means you get 60% off this amount if you don't claim at all, which is pretty simple to do. 60% off just means you're going to pay 40%. 20% off,
80%. Yeah.
you're going to times by 80%. And like I was saying just before, it's the same as what we've been doing, the last term and this term, but just you got to learn the words. No claim bonus, no claim bonus. Bonus just means discount. It's just a funny way of saying discount. These words and stuff, but it's true. That's how insurance companies view it. But that's just another way of saying it's a discount. All right. Cool. Let's look at, I think this is the second last bit. Should be. We'll find out. Running a car. Obviously, if you're running a car now, you'll have running and maintenance costs. So you've got petrol, maintenance. You'll have like you're the mechanic changing the oil, stuff like that, servicing, changing the tires, whatever. I'll do the first one, and then you guys can try question 2. Let's see. Calculate the fuel consumption in liters per 100 kilometers for each of the following vehicles correct to 1 decimal place. Hamish drives 550 kilometers and uses 45 liters. If you remember what we said when we did, rates, we did liters on top over 100 kilometers. I would do 45 liters on top over 550 kilometers. That gets me per kilometer, just so you know. So it becomes 0.0818 liters per kilometer. Of course, if you wanted per 100 kilometers, just times by 100. So it's about 8.18 liters per 100 kilometers. Does that make sense? And Lucinda uses 48 liters and she drives 640. And then again, the answer you'll get is liters per kilometer. If you want it per 100, you'll just times it by 100. It's just always easier to do the same thing we've always done. We've always done it per unit, the unitary method. So I don't like changing it. Your answer should become 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers when you do this one as well. That's the question 2. Ray purchased fuel for 159.9 cents per litre and drove 490 kilometers, using fuel at the rate of 7.8 litres per 100 kilometers. How many litres of fuel did Ray use? How many litres did he use? Well, he uses 7.8 litres per 100 kilometers. He went for 490. Like I said before, I just like making things into 1 kilometer. So I would personally not times by 4.9. Even though it's very easy for me to do that, because I know 490 kilometers is just 4.9 hundredths. I would rather get used to doing it per kilometer. So that means it just works for any number. So this becomes 0.078 liters per kilometer times by 490. That gets me 38.22 liters. Now, what is the cost of fuel? Well, it's 159.9 cents per liter times by 38.22 liters. To the nearest cent should cost $61.11. You guys want to just confirm all that? Make sure you understand that.
Yep, got that.
Cool. I might leave that one. And this one. Yeah, question 4. Start reading that. Can I help with anything? What's our answer for A? Do you think I have an answer for A?
No, I don't think I'm doing it right.
Table lists the running costs cents per kilometre of 4 cars in the first 5 years after purchase, travelling 15,000 kilometres per year.
Small car, so I know that it's the top column.
Yeah, and then there's fuel costs, there's tyres costs, and there's obviously service and repairs costs.
Yeah.
So what's the total running cost? Well, the total running cost would be 8.15 plus 0.97. I mean, you could have done it differently, but I'm just going to do it like this. Plus 5.98 cents per kilometre. And if you're running for 100 kilometres, you're just going to times that whole number by 100. You could have done them individually, so you could have done this times 100, times 100, times 100, and then added it. Or I just like to do it this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like overthink my answer, so yeah, that makes sense.
Times 100 divided by 100 to get it back into dollars. So remember, these are in cents. So it costs $15.10. What is the cost of tires for a large car in the 5-year period? Large car, just tires for 5 years, which means 5 years is 15,000 kilometers. Just keep that in mind. Try that. Alyssa, does this all make sense right now? Alyssa, you there? Tara, what about you?
Yeah, I'm all good with it.
Okay. Dahlia?
I know Dahlia was having trouble with her screen earlier. It kept freezing, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Weird having these issues right now.
Yeah, she just texted me to let you know now that her screen has started freezing up again.
Okay. All right. Do you guys want to change the time? Maybe there's a lot of people that are getting on at this time. I don't know, like next week. Let's. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be internet traffic.
Yeah. We weren't having this issue before. I'll see with the next class as well. If I realize that theirs is having problems, then I might change the time. Put it earlier. Okay, so the cost of tires would be 1.12 cents per kilometer for 15,000 kilometers, right? And then it becomes 168,000. So therefore, in dollars, it'll be $168. Just double check that. I divide it by 100 because it's in cents. Get it to dollars. Yep, all good.
Yep, I get that one.
Find the total cost of a people mover in the 5 years. So again, you're going to do the same thing. But you're going to do it for 5 years. So 11.34 plus $1.65. I'm sorry, 1.65 plus 7.72 times by 15,000. And then don't forget, divide by 100 to get into dollars. So give me an answer for that one. Anyone get an answer for C? Answer should be for C. $3,106.50, and then it just says D says how much more expensive is the service repair a large car compared to a medium-sized car. What I did, I worked out the difference and it became 0.15 cents per kilometer for 15,000 kilometers. So it's just a difference of $22.50 to service a large car compared to a medium car over 5 years. So it's nothing. $22. Okay. Let's go. Last bit. I heard. Yes, it is. Budgeting and household. The actual budget now. This one's fairly straightforward. We'll just do one. We'll do question 2. I'm sure you've seen budgets before, have thought of budgeting before or something like that. This is pretty self-explanatory. Sue works in a bank and her take-home pay is $900 per fortnight. Her expenses are shown in the table below. What is Sue's annual income? Well, her annual income would be $974.65 times 26. What are her savings per fortnight? Well, to work out this savings, does anyone have any idea of how to work out this number here?
Just do the total minus.
Yeah, right. She's going to add up all this minus obviously what she earns every 2 weeks, will be whatever she can actually save.
Yeah.
So 250 plus 155 plus 75 for telephone, 100 for clothing, 125 for car, $90 for entertainment, $10 for other, becomes 805. So 974, take away 805. She can save $169.65. How much can she save towards her holiday each year? Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So she has $4,410.90 to go. Hopefully not on a cruise. To go anywhere.
That would be about.
That would be a bad decision, Sue. Don't do that, Sue. Oh gosh.